Hey, how is it Friday? I feel like it's always Friday. I feel like I'm always saying to my husband, how is it Friday again? So we have a lot of new members in our world. I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jody Dinnerman. I'm the founder and creator of all things Staffless Practice. And today we're talking about why we need to get really clear on our perfect practice member. So every week in the Staffless Practice Circle, we have a topic that we go to town on, and we talk about it every day. The blog post surrounds it. I give out free giveaways for it. The topic is what we're all about all week long. And this week we've been talking about the perfect practice member. And let me also say that if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you follow me, you subscribe, you hit the bell, all of that stuff, okay? So I'm gonna say that for many years, I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor, and full disclosure, my perfect practice member is the 30-something mom with the time, energy, and resources to give more and do more for her family. I've memorized that like I would memorize a song because I always want it right here. I want my perfect practice member, who I choose to call Sally, and you'll see in my writings and in my videos and in my teachings and my trainings, I'm always referring to Sally. So I want to make sure that I know every quality of Sally so that I know how to best serve her, but not only her, so that I know how to create sacred space for her. I'm sitting here in my office. My office is made for Sally. It's made for Sally and her 5 kids and her husband and the grandparents that want to come along too. Okay? So let's get into the 5 things, the 5 reasons to get really clear on who your perfect practice member is. And for many years, I thought that, it wasn't right to pick a favorite. And I was taught early on in my career that I have to serve anybody and everybody who comes to my door. And I'm totally cool with that. I get it, right? But I also know that I can't be a jack of all trades or a Janet of all trades. I want to hone in on my specialty. And my specialty is the before, during, and after mama. Before, during, and after pregnancy mom. That's where I go. So that if somebody's out in the community, and whether they're pregnant or they're trying to get pregnant, or they just had a baby, or they're pregnant with twins, or their baby's not latching, or their baby has tongue tie, or whatever it is, oh, Dr. Jody's the one that takes care of babies. Dr. Lindsay's the one that takes care of athletes. Dr. John is the one that takes care of seniors. The other Dr. Jody is the one that takes care of golfers, right? So I'm the one that takes care of babies. Then there's no confusion. And of course, some of my colleagues in my town, again, I'm a chiropractor, and some of the chiropractors in my town also take care of babies, but it's my thing. Pregnant women and babies are my thing. So then I know all of the things, and let's get into it. So whether you know your perfect practice member or not, I just want you to consider this list, okay? So the first thing is, if you know who your Sally is, or your perfect practice member is, you're going to know the antithesis of Sally. You're going to know, this is my ideal, and this is the opposite of my ideal. And then you can prepare for when the opposite of your ideal walks into your office. Usually, the opposite of your ideal is who you're gonna make your policies around. So the practice policies are things like, this is our late policy, this is our money policy, this is our energy expenditure policy, this is our policy with shoes, this is our policy with dirty diapers, this is, you create the policies that you need, usually for the antithesis of your perfect practice member. So let me just take a drop of peppermint here. So I'm going to say that if my perfect practice member is a 30-something mom with the time, energy, and resources to give more and do more for her family, the antithesis of that is the opposite of that mom. It's the mom who is strung out and exhausted and really does not have the resources, whether it's extra time, an extra set of hands, whatever it is. She just cannot fit another thing. If I have my policies in my office expecting the antithesis of my perfect practice member to walk in, I'm never going to be surprised. I'm going to be set and ready to go at any given time. Number 2, you'll always know how to communicate with them. If you know who your perfect practice member is, you know things like This is what she reads. This is what she studies. These are the words that she uses. She talks with her hands, or she's very calm, or he, whoever your perfect practice member is. The more you know about them, the more you're going to know how to effectively communicate with them. Did you know that some people like to be told to do things and some people like to be asked to do things? If you study who your perfect practice member is, you're going to get really clear on these things. Isn't that cool? Okay, number 3. You'll know exactly how to create space for them. So again, I'm in my office right now. I'm not gonna have a bunch of dangerous stuff close to the floor because my perfect practice member is in tow with her 5 kids, right? I'm gonna make sure if there are sweet treats, I always give out organic lollipops, right? But I'm gonna make sure that they're not within reach for the kids. I'm gonna make sure that there's a diaper changing station in my office. I'm gonna make sure that it's really easy for the moms in my office to bring her kids by after school, meaning they're going to be hungry, they're going to need snacks, they're going to need toys to play with that aren't going to hurt them and that are easy to spray down. They're going to need all of the things that mom is going to need for her to leave here and say, man, Dr. Jody thought of everything. What are the things that you need to think about for your perfect practice member? Last week we talked about, was it last week? I think it was in the beginning of this week. We talked about the Practice Member 100. It's the free giveaway for this week. And if you see the comments to this video, you can click on the link to it's like a whole worksheet to figure out how to figure out what your 100 things about your perfect practice member are. So there you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, number 4. Where's number 4, Jode? Here it is. Okay, you ready? You'll have an instant referral network. This is probably my favorite one. So if I have my Sally come in, and I know from my Sally's Health History form that she does yoga 3 times a week, she buys all organic foods at the local health food store, and she goes to the OBGYN in the area. Those are 3 possible referral sources for my practice. So I've got the health food store owner, I've got the OBGYN's practice, and I've got the yoga studio manager or owner. Those are the 3 people that I'm going to call in my focus time, my diamond time when I'm growing my practice. Does that make sense to you? Do you know how much more productive making those phone calls or sending an email to them and inviting them to lunch? You know how much more productive that is than doing an ad in a newspaper or whatever it is that we're doing these days, Facebook ads or whatever it is, right? Okay, you ready for number 5? It's the last one. We're almost there. Number 5. You'll get to know what to master your skills on, so what to hone in on. When I got really clear on my perfect practice member, probably about 10 years ago, because I've been at this for a while, I started to hear them saying the same thing. Like they would talk about Ayurvedic stuff. They knew more than I knew on certain things that made me want to double click on those things. Ayurveda is probably the number one example, right? Another example is they would talk a lot about the Holistic Moms Network in the area. This is when my kids were little. So what did I do? I went and I became a Holistic Moms leader and I had the meetings here, right? So if you know who your perfect practice member is, you know who you want to cater to them, you start hearing them talk over and over in your practice with the other people in the office about their interests, you're going to start hearing the same things again and again, and that will become your list of things that you want to double click on. It's cool, isn't it? Where do you learn this stuff? So those are the 5 reasons to get really clear on perfect practice member. And again, if you go to the description of this video down below, or maybe it's up above, it depends on where you're looking at it, you'll get my free copy of my perfect practice member 100. It's like a guide to walk you through asking 100, I think it's even more than 100 qualities about your perfect practice member. I think that's everything I wanted to touch base on today. I want to welcome you to the community. If I have not gotten to meet you yet, please drop a hello in the whichever group you're finding me in. And my hope is that I'm giving you tools to serve more people and have fun doing it, all with automation and joy at the base of all of it. Loving you guys from here. Make today count.